Hey guys, what's up? If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. My name is Indigo, and today we have got a 2-for-1 special. I was supposed to post day 4 yesterday on Christmas, but Christmas Day was crazy, and there was something going on with my computer, and it just would not upload like I needed it to upload. So had to regroup, and I'm back today to do day 4 and 5 of my 2024 year-end review. So today might be a little bit longer. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So the topic for day 4 was choosing intentional change over universal influence, and by that, what I mean is you or me consciously making the choice to move forward and to make like bigger changes in my life versus having a tower moment. I don't know if you guys know anything about tarot, but there is a card in the tarot. Actually, let me get that one second. This is the Tower card, and it's basically talking about big drastic endings. And these endings oftentimes creep up on us and they occur when you least expect it, and there is literal devastation to everything. And I have had so many tower moments in my life. I think I had just gotten to the point where I didn't really want that to be a thing. You know, I think we oftentimes underestimate the level of comfortability that comes with making the hard choices and making the hard decisions to change. And what I mean by comfortability is that when you know there's a situation in your life that is not working and you choose to walk away from it rather than wallowing in the misery until you just can't take it anymore and something explodes, when you walk away from it, there's this sense of calm and the sense of peace that tends to envelop that decision that isn't there when it's snatched from you. I can't tell you how many times I have cried over situations that have come to abrupt endings, and it's always because I was trying to hold on to these things that I didn't need anymore, number one, or that weren't good for me. And I feel like oftentimes when it comes to actually, having these tower moments in life, more often than not, they do stem from, at least what I've noticed in my life is that they stem from things that I didn't necessarily want to get rid of, or I didn't see the problem within those things. And so I shouldn't even say I didn't see the problem in those things, because sometimes I did see the problem, but it was just like I was so enamored with that life, even if it wasn't something I necessarily liked, it was something that I was used to. Instead of me pushing for something that might be better for me or more beneficial to my life, I stayed with the thing that was more familiar, even though it was painful, because I had gotten used to it. And as uncomfortable as of a situation as it might have been, I learned how to work with that thing. And so it just made it easier to avoid it until I just couldn't avoid it anymore. And then, like I said, I would have these big random tower moments. But the thing with that is, if I'm always running from making the choice to change, then I'll never fully be in control of my life, and I'll always be at the whim of, whatever situations or circumstances are coming in my life. And to me, that's living life in the passenger seat. And I've just come to a place where I really want to be more. I want to be more in control as much as possible of how things turn out in my life. I know I can't control everything, but the least I can do is to make the choices and decisions to invite in whatever changes I need to, whether that be on a physical level, whether that be on a spiritual level, emotional level, whatever it takes, taking the steps necessary to bring in this change for me so that I don't have to face these big, extravagant moments where something comes where a situation comes crashing down on around me, and I'm left standing looking at the rubble that is around my feet. I don't know. I feel like the mature thing in life is to stop running from making the decisions and just make them, and do the work necessary to change my situation rather than how I've kind of lived. Because if I'm being honest, up until like this point in my life, that really has been how I have lived. I've just been kind of floating along and going from situation to situation, and never really having total control over everything, not in any real and major ways, not in uber major ways like I've wanted to. I know I have had moments over the past couple of months where, I shouldn't say months, over the last like year and a half, I have had moments where I was a little bit more intentional about changes that I was making. Like when I chose to leave California, that was a decision that I like personally made. Also, the decision that I made recently to go out and find work. Again, that was a situation where said, okay, I was looking at my life and I said, I need to make some changes. And I did just that. And although like the adjustments haven't necessarily been easy, looking back on the situations and seeing how things kind of played out around these decisions that I made, I'm able to understand that I was headed for a lot larger of a destruction, and like I was inviting in more, it would have been inviting in more destructive energy for me had I continued to stay in these places and situations where I really wasn't thriving and where I wasn't happy. And that's not to say I'm happy now, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm working on being happy because I've never truly been happy, but I can say that I'm a lot more confident in myself and in my decisions, my decision making, and it's becoming easier for me to read the signs of like the end of situations, and kind of understanding when it might be time for me to like start packing it up or looking for just other more suitable situations for myself. That piggybacks onto day 5 for me, which is I always choose the hard path. And that is something that I didn't really understand why I would do that until I began to look at everything that I have been able to overcome. My life has been extremely difficult, like from childhood. I can't honestly say I ever had like a time where everything was just easy breezy and smooth sailing. Like there has always been some challenge or some situation that I was thrust into that I had to figure out how to survive in. And from a long time, I was just like, why me? Why is it always like this for me? Why am I always going through, the worst of the worst situations? And in me having, really grown up, or I shouldn't say that, but in me growing up and just really getting into life, I feel like I'm actually getting into life now. And now that I am, becoming an adult and my decision making processes are changing, and I'm doing more as far as really trying to bring in better for myself, I understand why I choose the hard path. And it's because for me and for my personality type, the hard path is the most fulfilling path. I don't know why, but we're almost, it seems like, taught to shy away from the challenges and to do what everybody else is doing. And I've never been a follower in that way. I've never been somebody who wanted to do what everybody else is doing and to be what everybody else wanted. I find immense pleasure in being the odd man out. And though emotionally it has been rather draining to always do the hard thing, or to choose the hard thing, it's also been some of the most freeing experiences that I've ever had in my life. Choosing the hard path and not doing things the ways that other people might have gotten about it, through easier means, for me has created a different neurological pathway. And so I find that it has ignited this level of creativity within me, that doing things the easy way, or the way that others have tried to show me, that they just I have a different way of getting to the answers, and it's sparked this level of creativity in me that I really really love. And though it makes it a lot more difficult to connect with people on any real level, once I actually do like connect with them, it's just like we're locked in, or I'm often connected to like different kinds of people and situations, scenarios, etc., etc. And I feel like overall it's just made me a lot more resilient and a lot more persistent. Like, one thing I really love about myself is that I can honestly say I have had so many doors shut in my face, and yet I still continue to go after the things that I want, even when to me, I seem like I'm not, going after things. I might be in a period where I'm not actively going after my goals, or where I might be pulling away from my friends, or I'm just like alone and by myself. There's always still something within me, even if I might not be looking at the goal and doing little things to try and like reach it on any sort of, shall we say, intentional way. There's always a lot of internal, unintentional work that is happening behind the scenes, where I might be, like, let's just take me wanting to be an actor for instance. So that's not something that I've really been like actively pursuing, as far as me going out to auditions and taking acting classes, recording auditions, that type of things. Like, I haven't been doing a whole lot of that, being on set, doing background work. I haven't done any of that stuff in quite a while. And yet I've still been working towards that goal, in the fact that I find myself, writing out little scenarios for myself to play, or I've been doing a lot of mirror work, working on my confidence, working on my diction, trying to improve like my skincare, because you got to look a certain way in the industry. It is what it is. And learning new languages, so that makes me more marketable for different projects. Like, I've always been doing something towards these goals. And so I feel like me always doing things the hard way, because it takes longer, and there's a lot of times, I won't say more steps that are required, but it's a lot more of an in-depth process. I understand that everything that I'm doing is working towards me getting to that goal, and it's made it a lot easier for me to really accept the little side quests that come along with me trying to get to my path. I feel like, though in many ways I might be impatient, I'm actually quite patient, in that I've not rushed myself getting to any particular destination, and I have been very easygoing in my process to get to the next step. I don't know if any of that made sense to y'all, but it made sense to me. But yeah, there's such a beauty in doing things the hard way, because I feel like it's a lot more involved. It's a lot more all encompassing, and it just gives you a chance to like stop and smell the roses, and you can really enjoy the ride to where it is that you're going, even though it's like difficult. I feel like once you get certain things, because they have been so far like hard fought to get, you're not going to give them up. Another beautiful thing about choosing the hard path is that you tend to have a greater appreciation for whatever the destination may be when you finally get there. And honestly, that's really all I want, is to appreciate things as they come into me, like the good, the bad, the ugly, and just taking the hard path has given me that sense of freedom and acceptance and love of self and the journey. Yeah. So that has been the video. That is day 4 and 5 of my year-end review. Again, I do apologize that I wasn't able to get it out yesterday, but life be lifing, and I double back. I came back and I tried to double up and make sure that I gave you this content, because consistency is key if I want to see the growth and the change that I'm looking for. So that is it. That is all of the things. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. It helps me out so much in this wonderful world of YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from me. I will be here guaranteed for the next 5 days. You can follow me on my social media. I'll have all those things linked down below, as well as a link from my business page. You can shop with me on Etsy. I'll have that listed as well. And that is all of the things for this evening. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day or night whenever you choose to watch this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.